In the circa 2700 BC, the Greek organized the first ever Olympic Games. This tradition followed with the birth of the modern Olympics, which began in 1896. It was also here in Greece, more than 2,000 years ago, a very ancient astronomical computer was discovered and found useful to men throughout the world over the centuries and until today. This amazing discovery is known to many of us as astrolabe. The astrolabe was then further developed during the medieval Islamic world, where during the 8th century, great Islamic mathematicians and astronomers such as Muhammad al-Fazari and Muhammad ibn Jabil al-Harani al-Batani created the first Islamic version of astrolabe, which became one of the most advanced and intelligent astronomical instruments ever known to mankind. Abu Ishaq Ibrahim al-Zarqali of Andalus enhanced it, and as a result, it turned out to be the first universal astrolabe that could be used anywhere in the world. Astrolabe comes into two shapes, spherical and linear. The linear astrolabe was designed by Muslim inventor Sharaf ad-Din Atusi. The astrolabe is a sophisticated and advanced instrument that can locate and predict the positions of the sun, moon, planets and stars. In the Islamic world, it was widely used to find the times of sunrise and the rising of fixed stars and help schedule morning prayers. In the 10th century, there are over 1,000 different uses of an astrolabe in areas as diverse as astronomy, astrology, horoscope, navigation, surveying, timekeeping, prayers, Qibla, and construction of Islamic calendar. The astrolabe provides measurable expectations and predictable outcomes for the Muslim world. Based on the similar intelligence and wisdom and the successful maturity of the first AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected on May 3, 2013, Amana Mutual Berhad now introduces the new series of Dana Aqeel, named as AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 2. AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 2 is a Sharia-compliant capital protected fund, of which its main objective is to protect the investor's initial capital at maturity through the fund's investments in quality Sukuk and Shariah-compliant money market instruments, whilst seeking potential returns through investment in Sharia-compliant equities over a 3-year tenure of the fund. The fund has a dedicated Sharia advisory panel to ensure, among others, that the fund is managed in accordance with the Sharia principles, namely avoidance of dahra, non-transparency, avoidance of riba, interest, or effortless profit. Transactions involve aqad as a binding agreement, and tangible underlying assets as the subject of investment. In times of market uncertainties, investors, whether they are individuals or institutions, are always concerned and overwhelmed with multitudes of threats in protecting their investments. Has the market bottomed already? When will the market rebound? What investment strategies should they take? Are their investments in good hands? AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 2 provides investors a certain degree of measurable outcome by managing the risk of the underlying assets while appreciating the duration imposed of the fund's lifespan of 3 years. With AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 2, investors can rest assured that their investments are protected if held until maturity and have the potential of obtaining returns during the 3-year period. AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 2 has a multi-class feature whereby Malaysia Ringgit is a base currency class, whilst Singapore dollar class is to cater for Singapore residents, institutions, as well as other foreigners. For the first time, the principal protection at maturity will be in both classes, Malaysia Ringgit and Singapore dollar. Amana Mutual Berhad is the manager of AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 1 and Series 2, a progressive and dynamic unit trust management company under the flagship of Permodalan Nasional Berhad, PNB, and Amana Saham Nasional Berhad, ASNB. AMB has been voted by the EDGE and Lipper Asia this year as the best overall fund group, the best bond group, the best bond Malaysian Ringgit fund, 3 years category for AMB Income Trust Fund, Apart from us, investors can invest in AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 2 through AMB's distribution channels: Amana Saham National Berhad, Maybank Berhad, Maybank Islamic Berhad, Kenanga Investment Bank Berhad, Apex Investment Service Berhad, Singapore Unit Trust Limited, Maybank Singapore, and Financial Alliance. The fund subscription starts today until Friday, 18th of April 2014. AMB Dana Aqeel Capital Protected Series 2, Wise and Intelligent.